Matthew Stafford is the most disrespected quarterback in NFL history. Let me tell you why in this video. So here we are, and we have gotten a few different news outlets and a bunch of different just people in the NFL space giving their quarterback rankings recently, as well as Madden putting out their rankings as well. And Matthew Stafford has been getting straight disrespected in all of these rankings. Now, I do want to start this out by saying I do understand that Matthew Stafford just started to see this high level of success this year, so people don't want to move him up too quickly. But as soon as I go over some of these accolades and just overall better play by Matthew Stafford than all these different quarterbacks, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. But Matthew Stafford is getting disrespected. First off, he's getting disrespected by The Athletic. Now, this is 50 different NFL coaches and executives that basically rank quarterbacks either tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, or tier 4. And you can see here, Aaron Rodgers is ahead of him, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow. Matthew Stafford is in tier 2, so not even tier 1. So tier 1 guy is apparently, by their definition, a quarterback that can carry his team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations. He has no real holes in his game. And I wouldn't say that Matthew Stafford carries every week, so that is the one place where I can see that there's a bit of an inconsistency there. However, everything else he hits, and Matthew Stafford can carry a team. Just because Cooper Kupp did well doesn't mean that Cooper Kupp was some absolutely godly wide receiver before he got there. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp pair extremely well together, and they do well because of each other. So I think Matthew Stafford can carry a team. Does he do it every week? I don't know. But does Joe Burrow carry his team every single week? They didn't win, too many games. They got into the playoffs pretty securely, but they weren't dominant 13-4, dominant 12-5. But anyways, tier 2 quarterback is someone who carries his team sometimes, but not consistently. And I would say not even Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert does it overtly more consistent than Matthew Stafford. And it says he has a hole or two in his game. So let's go over why they think this. Stafford commanded 18 tier 1 votes, up 4 from last year, and he remained 7 because Stafford overtook Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, but Herbert and Burrow went past him. Still, the 1.68 average for Stafford marks a tiers era best for him. So yeah, he's basically, people said that he wasn't doing too well in terms of interceptions and things of that nature, and he kind of threw away the ball at times he shouldn't have. But yeah, so he is ranked number 7 in terms of tier 2. And then another place that absolutely disrespected Matthew Stafford is going to be PFF. Matthew Stafford wasn't even a top 50 player when it comes to PFF. Matthew Stafford was ranked, I believe, like the 7th or 8th best quarterback and not even a top 50 player. Absolute disrespect. And then also Madden doing Matthew Stafford much more dirty than both PFF and The Athletic. They have him as the 10th best quarterback in terms of Madden ratings, with Lamar Jackson being in front of him, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, which makes no sense to me, and then obviously these 5 as well. So that's just something interesting I found. He's getting absolutely just decimated by these different outlets and people in the NFL. So let's take a look at a couple games. So the people around Matthew Stafford: Joe Burrow, Tom Brady is number 3 right here, Russell Wilson. Let's take a look. Even Lamar Jackson. Matthew Stafford is beating all these people. The Rams, they were 10-4 when they played the Seahawks, I believe the second time. And look at Matthew Stafford's stats. You can see here, Russell Wilson, he's 1 behind him. and he's far and away doing much better. He had a 106 quarterback rating. He had a 44 QBR, which isn't too good, but Russell Wilson had a 55 rating and a 31 QBR with 156 yards and 1 interception. And then also Matthew Stafford here, at 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So outplayed him in that game. And then this game as well, Russell Wilson obviously got hurt, but Matthew Stafford absolutely lit up the field, up 100 rating, 67 QBR. Russell Wilson only 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and worse QBR and ratings. Now when we go into the playoffs, the Cardinals, I believe Kyler Murray isn't too far behind. I believe he's like 13. Yeah, so Kyler Murray not too far behind, absolutely outplayed. You see here 2 interceptions, 137 yards, 7 QBR, while Matthew Stafford had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and basically perfect QBRs and ratings. Really just absolutely an amazing game. So outplayed Kyler Murray. And here we go, the top or the number 3 guy, Tom Brady, on here. He played worse than Matthew Stafford in this game. Honestly, this Rams vs. Bucks game wasn't even close, and Matthew Stafford put on a clinic against this supposedly ferocious defensive front 7 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was 28 for 38. He had 366 yards, an average of 9.6, 2 touchdowns, and a really good rating and QBR. Now, Tom Brady, on the other hand, even though he had that long pass at the end to Mike Evans over Jalen Ramsey, and basically was playing from behind the whole time, he still had less yards than Matthew Stafford, less touchdowns, one pick where Matthew Stafford had 0, and much worse QBR and rating, even though he was passing a lot, or he passed 54 times and he still had less yards and touchdowns than Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford outplayed him here, and he beat the Bucks. Then we go into the 49ers. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't very stiff competition, but he still outplayed Jimmy Garoppolo as well. Much more yards, same TDs and interceptions, but a much better quarterback rating. And then we come to the Rams versus Bengals, and obviously this is a bit skewed because Matthew Stafford had more interceptions. However, Matthew Stafford clearly had the better throws in that game, was more clutch in this game, and had more yards, more touchdowns, and very close in terms of rating and a better QBR for Matthew Stafford. So I would say, when you're beating, especially he's winning all these games, you can attribute that to the team as a whole. However, when Matthew Stafford is outplaying these quarterbacks and beating all of the competition around him in the rankings, you would assume that he would at least make tier 1. He didn't even make tier 1 in this Athletic. He is one of the most disrespected quarterbacks in this league, and he is going to show everyone this year that he's not been one to mess around with. He's one of my favorite props to bet. He's currently plus 750 to win MVP this year. I think that's a very great bet. I'll be betting it myself. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Matthew Stafford is getting disrespected? I do. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys watched all the way until the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.